Hey, what's up guys? I'm right here with Marshall Thurber. He's a writer, he's a director, he's a producer, he's even an actor, and you might have seen a lot of his movies that he has written and directed. He has written Dodgeball, directed Dodgeball, has directed We Are the Millers, there's Central Intelligence, he wrote and directed that, and Skyscraper.
Skyscraper.
You know, so I'm shooting this video because I know most of the time we have questions that we want to ask someone like Rawson, someone's very successful, and I decided to do it in this video so that you get a chance to hear directly from Rawson. So Rawson, so a lot of people watch movies, not many people shoot movies, not many people get movies in a place where everyone watches them. How did you believe that this was something that you wanted to do and that you could do?
Oh, that's a good question. I think for me, it started with how I was raised.
Yeah.
My mom and dad were always very supportive and never, never told me that I couldn't, or that, there was never, who do you think you are in my house. Both my mother and father, taught me to dream big and believe in myself, and that really has made all the difference in my life. So I never thought I couldn't. And I've loved movies since I was a kid, and it seemed like a pretty good thing to do.
So would you say it was like a belief you had inside, like, you know what, I can do this, or would you even say it was even like ignorance, I don't know that I cannot do this?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, I think when you're first starting out, you don't know what you don't know, and sometimes that's a real blessing, that you're not, you're not wise enough to know what you're doing is crazy or unlikely to succeed. So I think with any success in anything, I mean, it's really, it comes down to three things. It comes down to, talent, hard work, and luck. Right? Probably in equal measure. And I think there's only really one of those you can control, which is hard work. And so that's what I try to focus on. And you can work really hard, and who knows if you're talented? You might be, you might not be. And you can't control luck, but the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Very nice. So what are some of the biggest lessons you learned from Marshall growing up? Is there anything that sticks out to you?
Oh my God, there's so much from my father that's in my work. But not only just in the movies that I make, but how I think about them. The last two movies that I've made, I've sold as pitches. So you go in and you say, here's the movie I want to make. It's a presentational piece. And growing up in the, watching my dad present in front of a room and watching him teach people how to present, shaped everything I do in those rooms. And a big credit to him, not only in terms of how you frame it, how you open, how you close, how you read a room, everything. So I certainly wouldn't be sitting here without having learned from him.
Wow. So you started out with Dodgeball, because when you first wrote and directed Dodgeball, no one knew you, but now everyone was like, wow, you will get to work with the biggest actors. What do you say are the ingredients for starting anew, and getting all the way to the top? What would you say?
That's a tough one. I mean, I think for me on Dodgeball, I just tried to write something that I would like, that a movie that I would want to go see, something that I thought was funny. And I think that when you're talking about whether it's a screenplay or whether you want to make a movie, whether you have an idea for a product, anything like that, it has to start intrinsically. It has to start from inside. If you're chasing what you think other people want or other people like, it's a losing game. That never works. It has to come from your own passion, your own heart. And sometimes you're the only person who likes it, and then you don't get to make a movie. But a lot of times, what you like, other people do like, or something that you're passionate about. There are other people who are passionate about it. But making movies or being an entrepreneur in any way, which is functionally the same thing, it's all about passion, because it's too hard to do. It's too hard to do day in and day out if you're not passionate about it, and you can't fake that stuff.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the creative process, because a lot of people think that, in order to be a director, a writer, an entrepreneur, we wait for inspiration to come. We just sit back and we wait till inspiration comes.
Sure.
Is that accurate?
You'll be waiting for a long time, I think. Well, inspiration is certainly part of it, right? But I don't think you can wait to be inspired to work. I think what's that saying? Inspiration comes from perspiration, right? So it's about doing the work. Whether if you're writing, it's about sitting your butt in the chair and writing, and not pretending to write and not thinking about writing. It's about putting in the time. I guess amateurs wait for inspiration and professionals dive in and get into perspiration.
Sweet. We were having dinner just now. You were guiding people through your own writing process. Could you just give some of these folks at home an idea of what it means to be a professional writer? So what do you do?
Well, I guess that's a really tough question to answer. I mean, I suppose at its base, right, a professional screenwriter or writer is someone who gets paid to do that thing, right? But that's not why I write. I don't write movies or make movies because they pay me money. There's a lot of if I really wanted to make money, there are a lot better fields to go work at a bank, go work on Wall Street. That's where they keep the money. Like if that's what it was, and then that's what you should do. But no, I've never my whole life I've always liked reading, and I've liked writing, and I've liked movies, and I've always wanted to do that. And so to me, it doesn't, it's hard work, but it's never actual work, you know, because I love it, and I love telling stories, and I love trying to surprise or amuse an audience. So being a professional in anything, but a professional screenwriter, it's it's hard work every day. It's not glamorous. A lot of times people see, you'll see basically like there's a red carpet premiere for the movie, right? And that's about 25 minutes of my life, right? Literally 25 minutes, and it's about 3 years minimum that go into that 25 minutes. And I actually don't really enjoy that 25 minutes. It's really uncomfortable for most of the time. But that's you don't do it for that. You do it because you like the thing that you're making. You like the meal you're making. You want to serve it to people so they can enjoy it.
You speak about writing every single day, So I write a little something different. I write copy, like sales copy, and I also write every single day. And there is a certain magic when you invest yourself into doing something every single day. It shows that you're serious about a craft. Like,
I think that's exactly right. Well, I mean, I think habits are incredibly important, and routine is incredibly important. And you can have good routine or bad routine, right? So your routine could be you think about writing, but you never really do it, right? Or your routine could be you write every day. And one of those is productive and the other one isn't. So, and same thing with working out, same thing with eating right. I think getting into a routine is critical for anything you want, any success in any field. And so I try to write every day if I can. It's been a little tough lately, but when I'm in the process of writing my next movie, I write every day.
Wow. And when you get good ideas, what makes a good story?
Oh God, I don't know. What makes a good story? I guess I've seen so many movies, and we've all seen movies. But we all tell stories to each other. We've been doing that since we were little, and everybody has heard, 1,000 stories by the time they're 10 years old. And I think to me, like, I don't know what makes a good story. I guess I know it when I feel it in my gut. You get that tingling sensation, or you go, oh my God, what if it went like this, or I know it's supposed to go like this and everybody's expecting it to go like this, but what if at this moment suddenly the floor drops out from the narrative and this happens, and so surprise is really important in that regard. And I guess the most important thing in any story are the characters within it, the heroes within it, the people who you care about, and that's one thing I've learned in making movies is that you can't make an audience care about money or diamonds or even the fate of the world. The entire earth is in jeopardy, and no one will care. The only thing an audience will ever care about is a character they like in jeopardy in the movie. That's it.
Wow.
So if you don't have that, can't help you.
So you got to build that emotional connection with the audience, and that's how,
100%. I mean, we'll look at like one of my all-time favorite films is Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? What's everybody's favorite moment in Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Oh man, there's so many. It's towards the end.
I think it's when the swordsman pulls out the sword, right? And Indy has this big fight's about to happen, right? It's going to be a huge battle with Indy and the swordsman, and Indy pulls out his gun and goes bang, like that, right? The swordsman dies and he turns around, right? Biggest laugh in the movie. And the reason that is because it's surprising, right? You're expecting the big battle because that's what you're used to seeing, but it's also really human and it's really funny. And humor is something that connects an audience to a character in a great way, because when you talk to somebody about what do you look for in a boyfriend or a girlfriend, what do you look for in a mate, right? The number one answer is always sense of humor. right?
Yeah.
It's not looks, even though maybe some people are lying, but it's always sense of humor.
Yeah.
And what does that mean? That means I don't want somebody who's funny. I want somebody who's funny to me. Someone who shares my sense of humor, who shares my perspective on the world. And so when an audience is laughing with a hero as opposed to at a hero, they're connecting in that same way, right? I see this world in the same way that you see the world. We find the same things funny. And that kind of bond is really important.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question.
Wow, no, I think that's good. One additional question I have is, you build characters that have some flaw, some vulnerability.
Yeah.
Is that deliberate? How do you go about that?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's when you talk about creating interesting characters, vulnerability is top of my list. I think that's because that's what people relate to. I think most people deal with vulnerability and struggle in their own life. And I don't think there's anything interesting about a hero who's bulletproof or a hero who's really cool all the time.
Yeah.
There's nothing less cool than being cool at all. But people connect to struggle and weakness and vulnerability and desire and doubt, because that's what everybody has, and that's what being human is, right? And connecting on a level of humanity is really powerful with characters. So that's what I would say.
Wow.
Don't write cool characters.
Yeah, my final question, for a lot of these people watching, the creative types, people who are young, wanting to start a business, wanting to make a name for themselves, wanting to just break out of a certain cycle and achieve something in their lives, what message do you have for them? Maybe 2 or 3 tips.
2 or 3 tips to be a success in their life?
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do, Melvin. I don't know. That's a toughie. Gosh, well, I guess, there's a lot of standard answers to this, and they're usually all pretty good. I mean, one thing, of course, is to focus on what you're passionate about, what you care about, no matter how weird it is. There's a lady who invented Spanx, and everyone thought she was crazy, and nobody thought anybody would buy them. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So I think no matter what you believe in and what you love, I think you have to start there. Like, what are you passionate about, right? And then I think the next step is, how are you going to get there, and how much work are you willing to put in, right? And the answer has to be all the work, whatever it takes. That's the answer. And if it's not that answer, then you don't have the right first piece, right? And then I think the third one is just consistency, is routine, like we just talked about, right? Right. So you're going to put in the work, but how often are you going to put in the work, right? Every third day, every other week, I'm going to do. That's not the right answer either. It has to be a consistent approach of hard work and dedication to something you're passionate about. And I think if you sort of start with that, I think your chances of finding success are greatly improved.
Wow, very nice. So for everyone watching, we want to shoot this so we can, really break down what it takes to become a success. Like you say, a lot of times you'll see the red carpet, they think, hey, maybe you just, you wrote it one night. That's the Rocky thing, because apparently Stallone wrote it one night. Everyone's like, but it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort. And we hope this has inspired you. I just want to give a shout out to my mentors, Bill Allen, Marshall Thurber, for really giving me this opportunity to interview Rawson, and for just really guiding me into this place. So so for everyone watching, I hope this has been inspirational for you. If you love it, comment below, share it with people. Once again, thank you very much.
Melvin, thank you. Real pleasure. Thanks, everybody.
And we wish you the very best.
Bye.
Bye, guys.